It was a different world with regards to Arctic research, and I think David was a spark to change that.
David really saw science as one piece of the much larger puzzle.
I could feel that I just trusted him. He always made me feel very much at ease, like I was not an outsider.
He would give himself fully with the people he loved and cared for, and that's certainly a privilege.
When he entered a room, he was the lighthouse. He's not easy to live without or to replace, that's for sure.
The idea that science is an active, alive process is really important. Science isn't a destination, it's a journey. And that journey goes on over multiple generations. But it's not my role as a scientist to get people to care about anything. My role as a scientist is to educate them, to tell them how things function, how it works. It's up to people to care about things. And I'm happy to talk about it with people, and I'm happy to inform them about what we're finding. But my fundamental issue is people should care because it's your own habitat.
Dave was exceptional in the field, and he was exceptional in this way. He exuded competence. You knew that you were not only safe in an extreme environment, but you knew that the work we were there to do was going to get done.
One thing that struck us all the time is he always had the latest technology. He always had the latest iPhone, the latest computer, but also the latest camera or drone or technology for his science. And it really helped actually to advance some of the science that we had from his paraglider days early on when he would fly his paraglider with it.
He could make it happen. He could bring it to fruition.
He was always visionary in this way and trying to push the boundaries of what the technology could offer and have new opportunities to collect data and understand sea ice. We also put ArcticNet together with Louis and Dave and many others actually that contributed to this original network that's still going today.
We did a lot of work together throughout ArcticNet itself, and that was the Circumpolar Flow-Lead System Study. So this was the largest of the IPY Arctic programs.
It's very important that you remember that you live on planet Earth, and it is a unit, it functions as a unit. It doesn't operate as Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Ontario, British Columbia. It doesn't come with a manual, so we have to figure it out. And that's what research groups like mine do, is we try to figure out what these characteristics are.
He would say, let's be passionate about it, but he would also say, science has to be fun.
He cared a lot about the people who were working with him. He made us feel as if we were family, just professional workers together, but he made us feel like a family. And part of that feeling was to have fun with everything. He could lead and listen at the same time. That's a rare combination.
Anytime I was in the field with him, we would go in with one set of objectives, and he pretty quickly would get onto some new ideas and want to go chase some new ideas.
He brought that same passion to creating teams and to training the next generation.
That played a large fact in the formation of ArcticNet, the granting of CERCS and the Canada 150 chair to the University of Manitoba, support for the BASIS project and other large projects that David led.
The Center for Earth Observation Science that Dave led. It was a small-scale research center, and now, it's one of the most world-renowned sea ice center.
His ability to look at things from above and see the connections and get people together and formulate projects and then find ways of funding it as well.
He brought a lot of knowledge to the table, and you could have confidence in that.
One of the big projects that David Barber was involved in was the Edmundson, the big research ship that works in the Canadian Northern Water. To get this big ship converted to a research vessel and get an organization around it so all the research groups in Canada could do research on this vessel. I think that's very much something which David Barber made happen. And It's unbelievable what it has meant for Canadian research.
David made sure that Indigenous knowledge was being reflected alongside, merged with the science, a dialogue between the scientists and the knowledge holders. And together, his knowledge, his science, their knowledge actually made for a better understanding of what was happening. And really what was happening was change.
I think his contributions to the changing sea ice in the northern waters and the impact on the communities up there is what he's really known for in the world.
David understood early on that he had a privilege of being in a space that was homeland to someone else. And the thing I always liked most about David was his students, because his students got it, so they had to be getting it from somewhere. And it was David teaching them that they had to do research in a different way.
Dave was a big believer in experiencing the Arctic, not just staying down south, but actually going up north and getting cold hands and wet hands out on the ice and the snow. And I think Schools on Board really allowed students, high school students, to get that experience. If you ever were fortunate enough to see Dave give a presentation, you would leave completely on board with whatever he had chosen to talk about.
David was larger than life. He didn't have time to sort of fool around too much, like he wanted to get down to business. Let's talk about the science. Let's get this program off the ground.
You can't just sit back and do nothing when you're with Dave Barber. So it pushes you to go beyond what you would normally do. David used to call me the big lug, and me being French, I didn't really know what it meant. I actually looked it up. I realized that it was kind of this big person that looked a bit strong and a bit maybe severe, but actually is pretty soft and emotional. I will tell him back to him, he was a big lug.
Hello and welcome to my cozy home office, a place I seem to be spending an inordinate amount of time in the last year and a half.
Dave's real happy spot was at his little cabin in northern Manitoba, and he loved spending time up there, fishing, out on the water. I know he was always proud that he got the opportunity to take his kids up north into field camps and show them what he does. Dave, as much as he was a big successful scientist, and he certainly was, he was also just a really proud, happy dad and really proud husband.
I love Dave like you love a younger brother. He called me big sister. This was extremely important to me. And I loved him for it, and I miss him.
Dave, I'd like to thank you for encouraging me and supporting me.
David, I just miss you so much every day when I go to work.
You're dearly missed. Everyone will be working twice as hard to make you proud.
David, I miss you, big lug.
If I've learned one thing about doing science in the North, it's to be creative and to look for other people to help find the answers that you need to find when you're grappling with different complex problems. But above all else, be passionate. The passion will drive a lot of what you do and make it a very enjoyable career as you think about how you can contribute to the kinds of problems that we face in the years and decades ahead.